Welcome everyone to GNED 1103 Scientific Innovation for Fall 2021. And this is the introduction for section 09 and 010. I'm going to make this a quick one, just going to give you an overview of who I am as your teacher, what to expect from the course, and to just get you started. So before we go further on, let's just show your teacher. This is me. I am Jordan Kidney. I'll have more information about myself coming up here quickly, but to answer some questions that I always get all the time is one, how many tattoos do I have? Don't know. There are so many that basically I go more by hours, and I'm 450 to 500 hours worth of tattooing work done so far. Right now, some of you may be thinking that there's a filter on this camera, but there is not. This is my actual eye color. I got my eyeballs tattooed about 2 years ago. If you're more curious about that, you can ask me questions about that, or we can talk in person when we have lectures. But getting past me and getting past the course, let's start going through the introduction and just kind of shrink me down for here a little bit and go through it. So, who am I? I am Jordan Kidney. I have a master's in computer science where I specialized in artificial intelligence, but be aware that's years ago, and right now I more concentrate on trying to be a better teacher and just a better person. I have been teaching in some form, so as a teaching assistant, a sessional instructor, and a contract instructor for about the past 18 years, and this has gone between Mount Royal and the University of Calgary. I have taught at Mount Royal University for the past 11 years, and this is the start of my 12th year here. And this is actually the 10th time I have taught this course in a row since 2018. So in roughly 3 years, I've taught this 10 times, and in multiples of those cases, I've had a lot of sections, like how I have 2 sections this time. Here you can see my email, jkidney@mtroyal.ca, and you can see my cell phone number, so 403-922-8839. Now, when it comes to my cell phone number, please just text me through this number to contact me. You can send me a text message at any time of day and any day, doesn't matter to me, and I will try to get back to you within 24 hours. If this is the first time you are texting me, please just let me know your name and what course you're in, and then I can add you to my phone as an actual contact. Be aware though, when I add you as a contact, I will not contact you unless it's mandatory necessary. I just want to be there for clear communication and keeping our messages, and I will only contact you if there's something very important that's come up, like you are missing from classes, if you are haven't handed in an assignment that was due, or anything major and you disappeared. That's generally the only time of major exceptions where I will contact you specifically. Okay. So lectures. We will have live lectures as far as I know at the time of this recording on August 20th. We will have live lectures. But what I have also done since I've taught this over the last year with the pandemic, I have a set of pre-recorded lectures already. So with every set of slides for the course, there is already a set of pre-recorded lectures that will go along with it. The live lectures will contain a lot of the very similar information and presentations with maybe a few different activities or just me trying to be creative to present the information in a different way. But you'll see from there, and like each month you will have an assigned set of material that you need to get through. And you can see that on the Blackboard. At the end of going through these slides, I will go through the course Blackboard and I will show like where can you find all the information. So really why I want to do this is that I've been missing live lectures, and it'll be nice to do that again in person. But I know that this could be difficult for people to feel comfortable to come to campus all the time, or with work, family life, or outside life it may be difficult and you miss a lecture. So just be aware that you have access to the lectures already. That you can go ahead with the information. You can go ahead and complete all the tasks in the course. You can even finish the course early and then just be done until we get to the final exam. You have that kind of actual opportunity. So also be aware, because it's funny because right now I'm recording this video August 20th. 2021, but the original rest of these videos were recorded in last summer, about May, April kind of time in 2020. So you will see me with a lot less hair as I've grown it out over the last year and a half or more at that time. So it's like going back in time. Still the same number of tattoos, but just a lot more hair this time. Okay. Now, help from your instructor. I will try to be as accessible as I possibly can. You have a long list here, and you'll see this same list everywhere on the actual Blackboard page, so to make it easily accessible. You can get a hold of me through text message, as I've actually said. You can send me an email. You can book time for a phone call. Sending me an email to book what time actually works for me and make sure that I'm available. We can book a video call. We can book an internet voice call. Basically, it's open-ended for what you want to do, and I will also have office hours that you can see in my schedule. Or we can schedule and book times to actually have office hours to discuss things. When it comes to text messages and emails, I will do my best to get back to you within 24 hours at the latest. Most times it's only at the worst case 5 hours later if it's later in the day, and if I'm teaching other courses at that time or busy, but most times I'll try to get back to you as fast as possible within 3 hours, I would hope. Boom. So before we go further, be aware that there is a task that's due. And here, when I use task in this course, this is my way of where I blended tests and assignments together into one, and they're just a task that you have to get done. They're not timed other than by the due date, unless we've scheduled for you to have an extension if you need it. There is no mandatory coming into the class to write these physical tests or do these tasks. This is all submitted online by the due date. But you have one very easy one to get done here before September 20th. And I suggest do it as soon as possible. If you're watching this video now, I suggest doing it now. You can go onto the Blackboard page, you can look under the task this first week and see the link there. If not, even by the end of this video, I'll be showing you where to go do this task and how you'll be submitting this. And so it's getting used to seeing how you will be submitting tasks in this course and getting used to that actual format. This one is very easy. It's 2%, and you will get 100% unless you don't follow a few videos coming up here where I give you the direct answers. The point here, this is to help me learn your names faster and who you are. So before we even get into the lecture halls, or if you were there, I can get a basis of I'll get a basis of your relation to science in the course in the past. Is it good or bad? What are your experiences personally? And everything else. Now, first off, I'll mention this again, not for the first time, not again, that you must be signed into your Mount Royal Gmail account before you go do these tasks. I have it basically limited that it's only through students from Mount Royal that have a Gmail account there, which all of you will have. So you just have to open it once. First, while you're doing this, make sure you're signed in. Make sure if you have any issues and you have other Gmail accounts, you sign out of those. And then it's just restricted that I know who this is actually coming from when these are actually submitted. So I'll get to these later on, but this is if you have the task open or you want to come back here and get the direct answers that they're in the slides and in the video right now, is that while doing this task, you'll have 3 questions that you have to answer based upon information. So I'm giving it to you right here, right now. So question 1. How many tasks are there in this course? 6. There's just 6 tasks and then the actual final. So no midterm, so no in-class midterm, no in-class quizzes. All these tasks will be submitted online, and right now the tentative plan for the final is an in-person written final, but we'll have to see how this semester develops. The next question is, how can you request help from your instructor? And the 5 different ways, well, they're listed here on the slide. I just talked about them. You can also go and copy and paste them from the multiple areas on Blackboard that you can find all of this information. And finally, the very last question is, where can you view the rubric, which is the mark breakdown? So each of these tasks has a mark breakdown, and a rubric will also contain your feedback for the marks that you actually get. and like for your marks on the course Blackboard page. And you have to clearly describe all the steps. So first, go to the course Blackboard page, click on My Grades, and then click on View Rubric. Now, these are the 3 steps. When we get to the actual Blackboard page, I will actually demo this for you as well. So what do I want from you? Is just honesty. Like, talk to me if you're having issues, and we'll work together. And I'm well aware that I can say that, but it's weird talking to someone you don't know, a teacher, power dynamics, and I will do my best to hopefully like open and make the course more open and make you feel more comfortable be able to communicate with me. I just rather have honesty than having students lie to be able to get past a point. And you'll see that we're coming up all tasks throughout the semester. I do have deadlines. I have said that there is penalties for extension, like if you have it handing in late. But if you contact me before or even the day of or maybe even after the actual due date just saying, hey, I need an extension, I'm probably 100% just going to give it to you, and I'll give you some timeline of when you should have it in just to make sure it doesn't overlap too much with future tasks. And I'll repeat this later on. You'll see it throughout the email. So if you need it, just email me. You don't need to fully explain or give me any details of why you need the extension, even if it is you just started late or forgot or whatever. It's all okay. You share what personal information you want, but it's not required. You can just even send me a one-line email saying I need an extension. And I will just mark down that, hey, this person is taking an extension and they have till this time, just so I could check back and see that you have completed it by that time and see what's going on and if I can help any other ways. Now, I also expect responsibility is that you have to keep up with any missed material. Like, you will have access to the entire course except for the final from the first day, from right now. When you're first checking the actual Blackboard page, you have all the material. So if you miss something, it is on your responsibility to make sure that you look through the slides, that you go through the videos, that you find some way, if it's not just sitting down and working with people, is just to actually like figure out, okay, what have I missed? What do I need to know? What am I understanding? And where you get to. Other things you should do is check your school email regularly. If you're a first-year student in this course, get used to checking your email regularly. It's the most common way that we as teachers have a way to communicate and contact you. And like make sure to keep up with checking all your grades and your class materials and everything on actual Blackboard. Now, for course material here, no textbook at all. There's not a textbook that I've seen that I would want to make people pay a lot of money for that would add a benefit to it. So all the posted slides and videos will act as your textbook for the actual course, and that's why you'll see a lot of the slides, sometimes they'll be a little bit verbose, but that's why I wanted to make sure that even if you were just reading through the slides, the majority of it would still make sense and there was some kind of context to what's going on. And any additional readings and anything else will be found on the course Blackboard page. Now for assessments, as I said earlier, there are only 6 assessments, which is a total of 70% of your actual grade. You can check the course outline and with the tasks themselves for the individual percentage weighted breakdown of how much they're actually worth. But I tried to be careful to spread it out so that's not all heavy-ended at the end of the course for actually the weighted, is that you kind of get a consistent amount and you know how you're standing as we go through this course. And now the final exam will be 30%. This is a high number, but there are multiple sections of GNED 1103, and each section is different in how they present their topics around science innovation. So my section is specific to me, but we're all required to have the final exam be 30% of the overall grade. Late policy. It's here because I have to have a late policy if I don't hear from people, like 10% per day, 5 days. But as I said, if you need an extension, just ask me and I'm going to give it to you. Other things as slide conventions, be aware is that when you look at all the materials, you're going to see the slides, you're going to see the video for those slides, but you'll also see a question document for that slide. Now, these question documents are not required material at all. Some of the questions can end up being on the final or variations of it, but these are meant there as helpful study guides that while you're going through the notes or like taking notes during lectures or going through the notes and videos on your own, trying to answer these questions. And I built the questions in order based upon the actual slides. And in the slides themselves, you'll actually see up there at the top, you can see the red circle there, that you'll see like, oh, it'll give you a number, which is the number of the actual slides, the numbering system, and then it'll follow after the question. And what this is saying is that this slide contains information that could be useful for answering that question in the question document. So it could be a good thing just as you go through, just make some notes, make some observations about these actual questions and see if you could answer them, and maybe just make quick notes under each one. You have access to a PDF file, you can print these out. You have access to the Word document, so you could type these up as you want as you go through. Now, one last thing before we end this video is just doing a quick walkthrough of the Blackboard layout and seeing some of the other things that you can do and how everything else has been set up. Boom. So, and let me just make this a little bit easier to read. Boom, boom. You have the course Blackboard page. So from when the first time you go to MyMRU and you click on your Blackboard, you should see your courses. These are all my other ones that I'm teaching right now, and this is us. So GNED 1103, Fall 2021. And be aware, there's just one Blackboard page for both sections of my course. So I teach the live lectures at 2 different times on the same day with different people. But both sections, you will all be communicating together and kind of working together. And really right now there's about 80 people you should know when they combine the 2 sections together. So on the actual Blackboard, the first important thing is to remember the menu on the left-hand side. And what you see here is just everything that's broken up. You'll see announcements on this first page. Under instructor information, you can see contact information from right here, another picture of myself, and you can see my current schedule. So what are my classes and time, and seeing the actual office hours. Next, you've got the course outline. So you'll click on that and it's just going to open up the current course outline. So rules, regulations, breakdowns of grades, and everything else that we're required to have within this document. So you have access to that. Next, you have the course Google Drive. So as well as having all the material up here on Blackboard, I also have it on a Google Drive just so that everyone who uses Google, and this is a Google campus, so everyone has access to Google Drive and all of that, is that you have easier access and a secondary source to get all of the actual material. So you have this link here, which will just open up the actual drive, and then you can do what you want to actually save this in the future. But you have access to all of the lecture slides here in PowerPoint and the question documents, and you have everything in PDF up here. You also then will have all of the videos that you can download and watch offline. Boom. You have the course outline, and then you have copies of the tasks. So here you have all the tasks except for task 1 in document and PDF. And these are just documents so that you can temporarily work on the question, save it in your Word document, and then submit it when you're ready to actually go. Next, you have my grades here. So this is where you can go and see all of your current grades in this course in the breakdown. If you go to the main MyMRU or you're using the app, you'll see things differently. You should always try to go to it on the actual web to see the full information. And so here, remember that there was that third question of how you see the rubrics. Again, first step is go to the Blackboard course page. Next is click on My Grades, which takes us to here. And then you can see all the information, and you'll see the View rubric below each one of the tasks. And the idea is that you can click on this and right now see the basic breakdown. So not much there for task 1, but let's say we'll take task 3. And so what this is to give you a general idea of how I will be marking these for each question. So what I'm looking for, and kind of giving you quick feedback if you had a mark within this range. And occasionally there are actually hints of what you should be really making sure you're answering in the actual question. So it's always good while you're working on the tasks to come take a look at these actual rubrics. The rubric will also be good because when you look at your task, you'll see your overall mark. When after you've submitted it and graded it, you will see your overall mark. And then you can click on View Rubric to see any comments that I may have given you. And you'll see the individual mark breakdown on each one of your actual tasks. And just be aware that this weighted total that you see right here, this will be your current running grade in the course based upon what you've actually submitted. So in the beginning of the course, that number will fluctuate a lot, but as we go later on, you'll see more like, you'll always know what is your current overall percentage in this actual course. Next, you have all tasks right here, and in future, any practice for the final exam. Hey, look. Here's one example of where you can get the help information about your instructor. You have access within here to also download a PDF or PowerPoint of all of the slides. So instead of having all the individual slides, it's one set of PowerPoints with all of the course slides within it once. And you have the actual tasks themselves, which give you the link to click. So either top here, down here, and the actual due dates. And this is all in one spot. You will also see these in other spots as well, but this is when you're in one main resource. So example, task 1. Hey, if you haven't started task 1 and you're watching the video and you're still watching to this point, you should be opening up the task right now. So you just click on this link right here and you can now see all of the questions. Now be aware that sometimes Google Forms, as this is, could time out, which means that you've been sitting there too long, could lose your answers. So it's always good to kind of answer separately, generally in a separate Word document, and only copy and paste in your answers when you're ready to actually submit. So if you've done everything right and clicked the link, you should be seeing this screen. If it's giving you any access denied, that probably means that you're not logged into your Mount Royal Gmail. So just go to there and log in and open it once. And if you're still having issues, then it could be if you have other Gmail accounts open, just go and log out of them or switch and make sure that your Mount Royal one is your main one. So here, it's not too much. This would take you maybe 10 minutes or more. Things like your name, if you have any pronouns you want, stuff you want to tell me, kind of feedback, if you want to share an image to me, things that are optional. These are all optional questions. They're not like I'm grading you on. This is just so I can get some feedback from you and learn more about my students quicker. Boom. Here is the example of the 3 questions you actually have to answer. So things like, hey, like how many tasks are in the course, all those 3 that you have to actually give an answer for. So those are in the slides and I've already given you that answer. And then you finally have ones where I'm going to give you automatic marks. This is just to give me a feeling for how are the students coming into this course in their relation to science. Do they hate it? Do they not care? Do they like it? What do they think about it in their kind of beginning perceptions? Give me a feel. And so these are all required and you get marks, but really is whatever you want to do. Write one sentence, write a paragraph, write longer. It's up to you. You just give an answer of any length and I am actually going to give you those grades. Okay. And then you click submit here at the bottom once you're actually done and you want to submit this in. Then I will get an email and I will update your grade shortly after. Okay, after this you will see anything else here, bonus tasks, which is very nice. This is something I've started doing now for a little while, and this is a way that you can earn some bonus percents that will just be added on to your final grade at the end of the course. And all of these are designed to be easy. And there's meant a way to make sure that you're taking care of yourself or other people outside of the actual course itself. And so there's another Google form where you can go and you can submit them. And they're listed here. And the idea is that you have 4 of these. And you can do any combination of these or all 4 of these once a week. So for the entire course. And as soon as the course is open, so we're even earlier on here as August 20th, so tonight onwards when the course will be open, you can start submitting these. And the idea is that once a week, so this renews on Saturday, so ever up to Friday, so from Sunday to Friday at midnight, that counts as 1 week, and then Saturday, till Saturday, and then Sunday will start being a new day. So basically Friday, we'll just say Friday is the end, and Saturday is the start of the new week. Making sure so that you have from Saturday to that Friday, and then you can submit all of these just once, and you can get 4 points. And the idea of this thing is like, what do you do to get up and move? Do you go for a walk? Do you do something fun where it was some kind of action, something different? Did you sit down and relax by listening to music, a book, spending time with friends? Do you have just something else you want to share with me? Something of interest or frustration or anything else? It's whatever. This is really open to you. A joke would always be good to entertain me. And did you help someone this week? So, like, the first one's really like, how do you help yourself? But this last one is, did you help someone? Someone else in the course? Someone else randomly? Doesn't matter how small or big of a way, in whatever way you think it's helping. You get to judge that and submit it to me, and you get these points. And the idea is that I will tally all these points up, and at the end of the course, each of these points will be times by 0.10%, and that overall percent will be added to your actual grade. So you can see, like, if you got 100 points, you get 10% added to your overall grade at the end. There's no, with the weeks we have, there's not that many. You can get like 50 or so from right here. So you could get up to 5% bonus added to your course. And so this will be after everything. So after even the end of the final exam and I've calculated your grade, I will just take these bonus percents and I will just add them in there. So I highly suggest you keep up with these every week and start it very early, because if something comes up later on, this gives you some leeway to make sure you're getting that higher grade that you would like. Okay, these are tools. Now after this, you will then see the last section, so 1 to 6. And these are basically, you can see the dates. When it says September 9th to 26th, this means you click on that and it's going to show you all the material and tasks and stuff that you should be considering finishing or considering and going through for that time period. So from September 9th to September 28th for the first one. See again, how to get a hold of me. You have the course outline is the first one. You have access to the slides. You have the intro slides that I showed earlier. You have the tasks within this time period or just a week after that you have to be aware of when you can submit. So clicking on the link here to submit. You have the question documents here again for those tasks. So you can save these and work on those questions. And when you're ready to submit, copy and paste from that document into the actual forms. You have each of the actual videos, and be aware these videos isn't like one lecture. They're longer in range for stuff, but this is meant to be like a week's worth of material, 3 lectures in one video. So you'll see the PDF version or the PowerPoint of the slides, and then the video for those actual slides. And everything that you see here is stuff that you should be covering between September 9th to the actual 26th and making sure you're getting done. And then you have access to everything else even after this, and that it will just keep, like, you can go ahead. And I'd really suggest in the beginning, if you're finding that this is easier to go through, you can finish stuff quicker, get it done now, because things will go faster than you think for the rest of the actual semester itself. Okay, so I will stop there. Most of you may have watched this beforehand, and you're going to see some of this again when I go into the actual first live lectures. So this is like your first lecture there. And even if you've seen this and you're comfortable coming to campus, it'd be awesome if you would still come, just so I can start seeing people's faces again, because teaching online since like March 2020, I've probably taught somewhere up to 300 students in that time, but I've only met 20 of them through like online videos. So it'll be a lot nicer to start meeting more people in person if possible. And I'll end it there. And like most of my other videos that say after this is just make sure to take care of yourself. Like, it's been a long time. A lot of you are just starting, like this. So some of you, you've already started and been in university for a while. Maybe you've been here for a year and it's been online for you completely. And for some of you, you're just coming from high school or from other areas of life and you're just starting your university journey. Remember to take care of yourself and be kind to other people and other creatures. And just remember that you're awesome. And if you think you're not awesome, bah, there we go. I disagree with you, and I say you're awesome. Even if I haven't met you yet, I think you're awesome. Other than that, see you all soon.